Big up everyone. Hope we are well. The Liverpool Prophet back again with another live stream. Big up to every single one of you in here.
We are well.
Hope you are all well. Hope you can all hear me as well. Back again, man. Back again. Um, Looking forward to this one as per usual. Look, going live is probably the best thing I've done. Really helped with my channel growth. It's been nice to interact with people actually in the community as well. Actually interacting with the comments has been a good thing. Rather than just pre-recording every day and just putting one out. It's so much better when I'm just in the comments and I'm able to interact with all of you guys in the chat. So big up to every single one of you. Um, as you can see, it is the eve. Well, it's the day before Liverpool's game in the Champions League against Galatasaray. So, of course, the topic of discussion is in the title. We're going to be looking ahead to the Galatasaray game tomorrow, of course, that we're playing. And we're going to discuss a bit about it, of course. And we're going to discuss, can Liverpool turn this around? Are Liverpool capable of rocking up to Anfield tomorrow and turning this deficit around and still being able to advance to the quarterfinals for this season? So, yeah, big up to every single person in the chat. Big up to you all. Without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So, a little bit of a recap on the first leg against Galatasaray. So, like I said, the performance wasn't terrible. You know, I've seen us play bad this season. I've seen us play bad. But last Tuesday, while we were poor, I don't think we were terrible. I do think there was an improvement from the last time we played Galatasaray. Big up Andre, man. Big up yourself, brother. First person in here as always. Big up yourself. I think they win profit. I can't lie, man. After the Tottenham game, after seeing how we performed against Spurs at home, with the injuries they had, with how depleted they were, and with us having near enough a full strength side, I'm not confident for this game at all. So I hear where you're coming from, but the first leg wasn't terrible. I felt like Galatasaray gave it a go. Of course, it's a knockout game, a round of 16 tie. They're at home. Naturally, they were going to put the pressure on us. They were going to be up for it, and they were going to make us feel the heat. And they did, to be fair. Again, just like when we played them back in late September, their atmosphere was on it. You know, their fans were up for it, and the ground was just rocking as a whole. I was doing the watch along, so I wasn't really able to hear what the sound was like and how bouncing it was. But I'm assuming from the scenes that I saw, it was very lively in there, should I say. Um, I feel like we played better first leg, dominated first 30 minutes. We just can't finish. Yes, exactly, Andre. The first 20 minutes of that game last week, we started better. We actually started the better side. I thought Galatasaray being at home, they were going to come out the blocks firing and we were going to be under the heat. But we flipped it around. You know, we were the ones who started off fast. They were kind of a bit shaky. A couple of times they were playing out from the back in that game, early on in the game. And we were catching them out. Ekatike was nicking the ball. Wirtz was nicking the ball. But again, when we have the ball, we're just not clinical. You know, we're not taking it into positions where it can be a threat. If you know what I'm saying, we just waste these opportunities 4 or 5 times in that first 20 minutes. They lost the ball high up the pitch. We had a chance to make something happen, and every single time we wasted it. We wasted it, and you can't be doing that against a team like Galatasaray away from home. You can't, because if you score an early goal against them at their ground, very quickly you'll see their atmosphere die down. The crowd will go quiet, and that's when you can really start to put the heat on them. We were unable to do that. Unable to do that. They got one chance, to be fair. I think the goal that they scored was the first time they went up the field, got the corner, and obviously bagged. However, let's be totally honest. We were dominant up until that in that first 20 minutes, and we should have made it count. We didn't though. Somehow we didn't do it. And of course, let's be honest. Overall, our performance wasn't good. But again, where was the clinicalness? Where was the finishing? Where was the ruthlessness? Which is what we all want to see. Ekatike, I love the guy, but my was he so wasteful last Tuesday. You know I'm saying my was words so wasteful last Tuesday. Mohamed Salah, non-existent again. I don't know what to say about Mohamed Salah. I'm genuinely running out of words to say. You know, I want to sit here and defend the guy, but I can't. I genuinely can't sit here and defend him. You know, it's been a whole season. Well, there's only 7 games left in the season. There's only 7 league games left in the season, should I say, in the Prem. And he's not been here. He's been non-existent. He's popped up in 1 or 2 good games this season, And dare I say, and even in those 2 games, even in those games where he has popped up, has he had a good overall performance? Or has he just bagged and we've just mashed it over and said he's had a good performance? He's just, Salah's not there, man. He's not there this season. And again, it's more incentive, I think, to cash in on him. Unfortunately, in the summer, it's a shame that this happened like this, but it is the correct decision overall, if we're being honest about it. But yeah, not clinical at all in that first leg. I'll be honest, I don't think Galatasaray were clinical as well, because again, we know how poor Liverpool are defensively. We know how we are wide open at the back at times. We're very, very what's the word I'm looking for here? What is the word I'm looking for here, man? We're vulnerable. That's it. We are vulnerable on the counter attack at times. And to be fair, they were getting in good positions that they could hit us in as well, but they were not clinical with some of the chances they had. But they had one chance and they made it count. We had a lot of chances and we didn't make it count. I hope he doesn't put Flo on the wing again. I don't think Slot can really afford to experiment in this game. Fair enough, he did it against Tottenham. While I don't agree with it, he did it against Tottenham. But for this game here, this is the biggest game in our season, arguably. This game tomorrow is arguably what I think personally is the biggest game in our season. A lot is on this game tomorrow. A lot. You know what I'm saying? Slot's managerial position depends on whether he can win a Champions League or how deep he can go in this competition. From what we know, from what we've been told, it's either you win the Champions League or you go home. You know what I'm saying? It's bye-bye. So it's a huge, huge, huge 90 minutes ahead tomorrow. In our season and for Slot's future as well. So he can't afford to experiment, Andre. I don't know why he decided to do that in the first leg. What made him decide to do it, but it was so idiotic. For this one, we need to just revert back to type. We have to revert back to type. Go with a team that is the strongest. Go with a team that's got the most chemistry. And go with a team that's actually been getting us and pulling us results this season. If he's going to experiment, it's not the game to do it. It's not the game to do it, man. Can you imagine he experiments and we end up getting knocked out in a bad manner as well? There's going to be a problem. There's going to be a big, big, big problem because, like I said, the fans were booing at full time on Sunday against Spurs. They really had enough. And the match-going fans have been the ones who have been the most backing of Arne Slot, should I say. While us lot have kind of seen it for what it is, the match-going fans have, dare I say, kind of been in denial. A lot of us were saying Slot needed to go after the PSV game and the Nottingham Forest game. This was around November time. And it's taken people this long. We're now in March for people to actually get on the bandwagon and see what we were saying. We were seeing this early, that Slot was tactically out of his depth and he wasn't going to be the one to push us forward. To be fair, I could have told you that after the 3-0 against Forest at home or the 4-1 at home to PSV Eindhoven. The fact that it's taken people this long, up until March when the season's coming to an end, it's taken us drawing against the Spurs side that have got a lot of injuries and are fighting relegation. For people to see this is very concerning. It's very concerning because either people are watching and they're genuinely thinking there's progress on the pitch, or they're just living in denial. Something isn't right for people to be just blatantly backing of this. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, if you are still slotting at this point, I don't understand how you can be genuinely. You must have a humiliation kink. You genuinely must have a humiliation kink because bloody hell, the evidence is all there that he's not going to be the man for us in the future. It's all there. You know what I'm saying? It's been there since the start of the season, and across the season, it's just the evidence is just mounted and mounted and mounted. So anyone who's still on a slotting or is still backing on a slot, how can you do it? How, there's no genuine reason, like I said, there's no genuine reason why he's being backed. When you ask people why he should stay, you only get one narrative and one argument thrown your way, and that is he won the league last season. That's the only thing you get thrown out. He won the league last season. Oh, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that last year. Last year is last year. You know what I'm saying? We live in the present, we live in the now. What's he done for us recently? What's he done for us this season? Nothing. He's been nothing short of a disgrace of a manager. He genuinely has. And the things he said off the pitch too. How can you back the guy? Genuinely, how? I need my players to show up as well. Some of the chances we missed last season, last week, sorry, just unacceptable. 100%, Andre. 100%. You'd expect Ekatike to do much better last week with the chances he had. Words, who would have thought Words would be so wasteful in front of goal? Who would have thought that? If Salah gets a chance tomorrow, he needs to have his shooting boots on. I don't care how he performs tomorrow. I genuinely don't. It's for me, tomorrow is purely about going through. It's the one game where I don't really care how we play. I don't really care what our style looks like. I just want to go through. I just want to go through tomorrow. However we win, we win. If Salah can have a poor game tomorrow, but still bag us a goal, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I will take it because I really couldn't care less about how we play stylistically tomorrow. I just want to fucking go through. I just want to go through. Either way, we're in a lose-lose situation here. Let's be honest, guys, because say we do go through here, say we do manage to turn this tie around. We are not on the easy side of this Champions League draw. We aren't. We are on the harder side. Us, City, who else? Us, City, Chelsea are all on the hard side of the draw. You know, the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham, and Newcastle are all on the easier side. Bayern are on our side as well. Madrid are also on our side. Paris Saint-Germain are on our side. The other side's got Barcelona, Atletico. That's it, really. Let's be honest. No one else of real note. So we are on the hard side of this draw. You know, if we're gonna get to the final, we can't wing it. You know what I'm saying? Like Arsenal, I'll use Arsenal as an example here. They could wing their way to the final because look at the opposition, the quality of opposition they're playing. At Leverkusen now, Bodo Glimt next round, and then in the semi-finals, I believe they've got someone. They won't have a tough time in the semi-finals either. They can wing their way to the final because the opposition they're playing isn't great. We can't wing our way to this final. We can't. I'm saying Galatasaray tomorrow is a tough game. We have to be up for it. We have to be up for it and get the 3 points. And if we do somehow turn it around tomorrow, let's be honest. Look at who our opponents are most likely going to be in the quarterfinals. We're going to have a rematch against Paris Saint-Germain. It is going to be a rematch of the Paris Saint-Germain game. Oh, man. And you saw what happened against Paris Saint-Germain last year. I know we scammed it at their ground 1-0, but look at what they did to Anfield against us. Look what they came to Anfield and did to us, should I say. So, even if we get through tomorrow, this team ain't beating Paris Saint-Germain over 2 legs. We're not. You know what I mean? We're not beating Paris Saint-Germain over 2 legs. There's not a hope in how we're going to be able to go to Paris Saint-Germain home and away, play them home and away, and get a win. Maybe we can. You never know in football, obviously, but it's highly unlikely the way we're playing. They're going to absolutely smoke us. And then even if you get through Paris Saint-Germain, guys, even if we get through Paris Saint-Germain by a miracle, in the semi-finals, we're going to play Bayern Munich. We're going to play either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. And you think those games are going to be... If we come up against Bayern, we can't win it against them. So either way, we're in a lose-lose situation. We're not winning this Champions League. We're not. Because if we win tomorrow, Paris Saint-Germain next round, which we won't win. But if we somehow get through there, Bayern Munich next round, and we certainly won't beat Bayern Munich over 2 legs. I'll tell you that much for certain now. Exactly, Andre. 0 chance. If by some miracle we make it past Paris Saint-Germain over 2 legs, quarterfinals, semi-finals, Bayern Munich home and away. Ain't going to be able to win that. You only have one strand of luck in the UCL. You only have one strand of luck in the UCL. There's no way you can wing it across the course of another couple of games. You get doing one tie through luck, that's not going to repeat itself in the next tie. Pains me. It does pain me to say it too, bro. It pains me to say it as well. I don't want to be sat here saying and talking like this. You know, people probably click onto this and think this guy's negative as hell. This team is making me feel negative currently. This team and this coach, Arne Slot, are currently making me feel very negative about football in general. Football in general at the moment for me is so unenjoyable. And it's always going to be unenjoyable when your own team don't win. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, man. It's so... I don't enjoy watching the game in general, man. You know, football as a whole has dipped, but from our perspective, from the Liverpool perspective here, when we're not doing well, it's just very hard to enjoy and get up for things. You know what I'm saying? I don't enjoy watching Liverpool on the television. I don't. I don't enjoy turning the television on to watch a Liverpool game. I'd be lying if I said I did. You know what I'm saying? It used to be the highlight. I said this yesterday and I'll say it again as well. Watching Liverpool genuinely used to be the highlight of my week. It's what I used to look forward to. You know, if I was having a bad time at school or if I was having a bad time in my life in general, I knew the weekend was close by. I knew, but not even just the weekend, a match, even if the Champions League, if we were playing a match week in the Champions League, I knew I could turn the television on and for 90 minutes, I could see my team go out there and win and absolutely destroy teams and win. I can't do that no more. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's bad enough us being crap guys, but when you look at fucking the likes of Manchester United under Michael Carrick actually doing well now, looking like they're going to finish third, and then you've got Everton who look like they're better than us stylistically, other teams as well. It's just very hard to be upbeat about football. Genuinely, very hard. Um, in rough times, like I said, you look at your manager and you think, can your manager say the right things to keep you on board? Can he say the correct things and keep the fans on board and keep us believing? And Arne Slot, he can't do that. He cannot do that. I'm saying not once has Arne Slot come up this season and taken accountability for a loss or when we've lost a game. Not once has he done it. You know, when we were losing games under Jurgen, which we did quite a bit, to be fair, every single time Jurgen came out, took accountability. First thing he'd say, it's on me. The result is on me. It's not on the players. Instantly would relieve any sort of pressure that the media were going to put on the players by taking the blame on himself. Slot never does that. He never does that. He's a manager who doesn't take accountability for himself. Pep will take accountability. You know what I'm saying? Other managers in the game will take accountability when their teams play poor. In the media, anyway. Slot is a coach that is like, it's everyone else's problem why we're in this situation but me. I'm unblameable. To be fair, he is the centre source of the problem. He is, when it comes to on the pitch stuff, he is currently the centre source of the problem because the style of football was crap. You know, he's turned certain players that were brilliant to watch last season and years gone by into absolute robots who look a complete shadow of themselves. He's turned this Liverpool team and this club into a shadow of itself. Genuinely, we thrive on emotion, we thrive on energy, we thrive on seeing the team give their all, playing as a team. We thrive on seeing high energy, high tempo football. What we're seeing now is just the complete opposite. Like we've become like Manchester City. Let's be honest, dull, lifeless, boring, unenergetic, uninspiring. And again, that stems down to the manager. Like I said yesterday, football teams are a reflection of their manager, right? I think we can all agree on this. So when we had Jurgen as our coach, we were very well. Jurgen as a person is a very energetic. He's a very high energy person, right? So that personality of his signed onto the team, and then we saw a team on the pitch that were high energy, high energetically, should I say? Now we have a manager in Arne Slot who is very dull, boring, lifeless, uninspiring, uncharismatic, and that reflection of him now has reflected onto our team. So we on the pitch look lifeless, boring, dull, uninspiring. Football teams are a reflection of their manager. You know what I'm saying? Big up Waha. Appreciate you being in, brother. Big up yourself, man. Make sure you do sub to Waha as well. Expecting a nervy game that can go either way tomorrow. Indeed, bro. I'm very nervous for it, should I say? Very nervous. After the Spurs game and seeing the performance against Spurs, I'd be lying if I said I was confident for this game. I'd be lying. I've got zero confidence. The only thing I'm hoping can happen is the crowd can just push the team through here. The crowd can just push the team through. The crowd can be up for it and the team can get up through it through the crowd. But other than that, look, if we come out and play the same football that we did against Spurs and the same boring, lethargic football that we've been playing all season, forget about going through. Because you can be sure Galatasaray are going to be up for it. They are going to be up for it. We know that. They're not going to be, unnerved. They're not going to be fearful. They've beaten us twice already this season. Yes, this game is coming to ours, but would you be worried about this Liverpool team? Let's be honest. People can say Anfield this, Anfield that. And yes, while on a European night, Anfield can produce moments of magic. Undeniable. Has Anfield really been a fortress this season? Has it? We've lost at home to Manchester United, something that we never do. We managed to do that this season. And a poor Manchester United side, but mind you, this is when Ruben Amorim was still in charge. So we did that, which has been something we've never done in recent years. We've lost at home to Nottingham Forest, been smoked at home by relegation level Nottingham Forest, 3-0. We've lost 4-1 at home to PSV Eindhoven, 4-1 in the Champions League in a UCL night. We've lost 3-0 at home to Palace in the Carabao Cup. Remember that, guys? Earlier in the season. Got absolutely smoked. Again, that was the game where Slot decided to be a twat and put the youngsters out on the pitch. Be a complete idiot. And it completely backfired on him. So, Anfield ain't a fortress this season. We've lost 4 games there. I've named you 4. United, Forest, PSV Eindhoven, Palace. I'm saying other games we've drawn. We've drawn to the likes of Sunderland at home this year. Newly promoted Sunderland, who granted are having a good season and are doing well in the Premier League. But respectfully, they're newly promoted and we are the champions. We should be winning. We scraped to draw against them at home, by the way. Remember, scraped to draw. Because if it wasn't for that Chiesa, that last-minute Chiesa goal line clearance, we would have lost that game 2-1. I'm saying? If it wasn't for a moment of magic from Wirtz to get us the equaliser, we wouldn't have even equalised. So we drew at home to Sunderland, newly promoted Sunderland. Leeds at home, 0-0 draw against Leeds. Couldn't score a single goal against the newly promoted Leeds side. Leeds at the time, well, let's be honest, they weren't fighting relegation, but they were mid-table. They're not doing anything special in the league. Yes, they're doing very well by surviving relegation this year, which they will. But they're not doing anything special. Again, they're newly promoted. We're the league champions. We should be able to beat them. At home. We should be able to beat them. Burnley at home, guys. Burnley are getting relegated this year. They're finishing 19th. They came to Anfield and took a point. If these teams can get a point at Anfield this year, why would Galatasaray come and feel scared? Why? You know what I'm saying? Why would they come and feel scared of us? They wouldn't. Oh, man. Like I said, the Anfield aura, in my opinion, is slowly starting to disappear. It is slowly starting to disappear. And that is due to the fact that fans are unable to get up for games because the style of football is so dreadful to watch. Like I said yesterday, people can call fans in the ground an issue because they're not singing and supporting the boys. Well, look, like I said yesterday, and I'll say it again. The team have to give the fans something to cheer about, in my opinion, for fans to be lively and active. You can't just be up for a game if the team on the pitch are just slow, if they're boring to watch, if they're just playing like robots. How can you sing and be up for it genuinely? Like, you can't. I'm saying you need the team to give us something. They can't. This team cannot do that. And hence why the fans are unable to get up for games and it's so quiet in Anfield at times. Whoever scores first tomorrow, it's huge. Whoever gets the first goal. That first goal is massive. It is massive, Andre. If they get another goal, we're screwed because they are going to low block it and we ain't going to have a way to break them down. And they'll have a 2-goal advantage as well. If we can score an early goal tomorrow, like in the first 10-20 minutes, it's game on. The longer that game goes on 0-0, the more they'll sit back and be pragmatic and protect their 1-goal lead. So even a goal before half-time and it's game on. But I just don't trust us. Man. I have a bad feeling. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to be sat here saying that I have a bad feeling, but I do. I genuinely do. If you told me at the beginning of a season that I'd be worried about Galatasaray at home in a round of 16 game after the signing was made, I would have been like, get the hell out of here. But here we are. Just goes to show that spending money doesn't always work. Spending money does not always work and it does not always lead to success for a football team. You know what I'm saying? For years, we've worked well on just spending little because for years, we've had a manager who wanted a team. He wanted a team to play as a team, to give their all on the pitch to play for each other. You know what I'm saying? We never wanted a team full of superstars because we've seen it. We saw when Paris Saint-Germain had their superstar team, it didn't work. There was no team chemistry there. We didn't play as a team, just individual brilliance FC. You see it with Real Madrid now. Real Madrid right now are a prime example of this. A team who, again, a lot of talent on paper, the likes of Mbappe, Bellingham, Actually, no, fuck it. Bellingham's shit. The likes of Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Valverde, Courtois, Rudiger. Players who are very, very talented on paper, or people say. Whether I agree with that or not, it remains. I'll leave that out of the equation here. But again, a team that on paper are very, very talented. However, let's be totally honest. Are Madrid entertaining to watch? Are they good to watch? Do people enjoy watching the likes of Real Madrid? I don't. I've watched Madrid once or twice this season, and again, they're boring. They are boring. They're very much a team that just rely on a moment of individual brilliance from a Vinicius Jr. or a Kylian Mbappe to win them a game. So again, you don't want to be a team like that. Maybe Madrid fans like that. Maybe it's for them. Maybe they don't mind it. I don't want that. I don't want that. For me, I'd rather a team that didn't have superstars in it, but had a unit. We were a unit. We played for each other. We gave our all on the pitch, which is what we were so famous for in Jurgen's day, which is what we've lost now. We've lost it, The likes of Henderson, the likes of Milner, the likes of Wijnaldum in our midfield. These are not flash names on paper. Let's be honest. When you look at the likes of a Valverde or the likes of I don't know, like a Pogba or someone, for example. Apologies for that, people. We're just talking to someone behind the scenes. My bad. Apologies. But yeah, just someone decided to enter my room when I told them not to. Apologies. But yeah, what I was saying was these are not flash names on paper. The likes of Mbappe, not Mbappe, the likes of Milner, Hendo, and Wijnaldum. They're not flash names on paper. However, what they do have is work rate. They might not be the most talented midfielders. I think we can agree they're not the most talented midfielders, but they give their all on the pitch and they work well in a team. Which is, for me, I take players like that any day over the likes of players like, players like Kylian Mbappe or Vinicius Jr. I would call me crazy, call me mad, but for me, a team that plays as a collective team on the pitch and wins that way is so much more special than a team full of superstars who just wing it every single week. And that's what we've become this season. With the players we've brought in, that is what we've become. And that is what Slot has allowed to become. He couldn't implement his style of play. He's unable to start implementing style of play. So he's just winging it now. I think it's been quite obvious for a while now that Arne Slot is unable to implement his style of play at Liverpool. It's been pretty obvious that what he's trying to do, the way he wants to play, it's not working with the team that we have. So he's ditched it and we're just relying on individual brilliance. How often in a game do Liverpool play well as a team this season? Can anyone name me a game that we've played well as a collective team this year? I can't. I can't sit here and say or name you one single game that I looked at this season and thought we played as a team and we won as a team. The games we have won, and I'll be honest, dare I say, every single game that we've won this season has been a moment of individual brilliance from a player. Every time Slot is under pressure, someone will bail him out. Soboslai's done it plenty of times. Soboslai, every single time the manager's under pressure, is what you call it. He pulls out a free kick goal out of nowhere. We just do not play as a collective unit no more. And when you don't play as a unit, for me, that's the complete opposite of what Liverpool Football Club stands for and what needs to be, what we need to see. Saying, I don't care about talent. I genuinely don't care about how talented a footballer is. If you give 100% on the pitch, that means more to me than anything. It means more to me than anything. As long as you give 100% for the club, for the badge, for the fans, I don't care how talented you are. For me, you will be a legend. You know what I'm saying? Henderson, for me, I wouldn't say legend, but I hold him in very high regards because while he was at the most talented, while he was at the most flash player on DI, let's be honest, he had the work rate. He was he was one of those players that would give his all no matter what. Milner, very, very similar to him. Wijnaldum as well. Fabinho too. Fabinho, loved that guy. These are players who they're not the most talented and flashy on paper. We know that. I'm not saying they are. But they give 100% for the fans and the club. And that just means way more to me than a team full of talent. Just way more. And I can't lie about that. I'm gonna be totally honest. Yo, big up Nighttime Kid, man. Big up my brother Nighttime Kid. Hope you're well. Big up yourself, brother. Big up, big up. But yeah, we don't have a style of play. It's very obvious Liverpool do not have a style of play this season. And it's very obvious that the manager has stopped trying to implement one. He's not even bothered trying to implement one. He's very much become a manager who's just putting a team out on the pitch and just relying on individual brilliance. Results matter, yeah. Results matter, man. Facts, Nighttime Kid. He's very much just putting teams out on the pitch and he's hoping for a player to bail him out. And it's happened, to be fair. Like I said, Szoboszlai's popped up a lot with free kick goals to bail the manager out. Sometimes a Wirtz will pop in. Ekitike's popped up and bailed him out a lot. I'll be honest, if it wasn't for Ekitike and Szoboszlai and the goals they've scored to win us games or get us something in games, we'd be further down the table and we wouldn't even be in the top 5 race if we're being honest about it. You know what I'm saying? There was a period where we were sat, 13th, 12th, was it? We were in a bad state. And if it wasn't for them two, the season would be worse than it is. There's a couple of standout players this season that at the end of the year, I'm gonna actually do a live and actually thank these players, because if it wasn't for them, Liverpool would be in a dark situation this season. Szoboszlai's one, Ekitiké's one. I even think Robbo this season, while Robbo again hasn't had much game time, he's still giving his all on the pitch. Alisson, guys, if it wasn't for Alisson made about 4 or 5 good saves against Tottenham to keep us in that game, let's be honest, he made 4 or 5 good saves to keep us in that game. Otherwise, Spurs would have probably won, which is crazy to say. But again, there's a couple of players in that team that should hold their heads up high, because while others have underperformed, while others haven't risen to the challenge, there are still some in the team that have. Players that haven't risen to the challenge, let's be honest. Salah, his season's been nothing short of a disgrace. Decline or not, his season has been nothing short of a disgrace. What we can sit here and say, his legs have gone and he's older now, and that's why he's playing poorly. To me, at times with Mohamed Salah, it looks like he's not trying on the pitch, and I don't know if anyone else gets that feeling. It looks like he's just walking around, not trying to make anything happen, like he doesn't care. And maybe that's just me, but I don't know if anyone else gets that feeling. But it's a couple of times I've noticed it this year where he's just not trying in a game. He's just being lazy and not trying, and I don't like that. Virgil van Dijk as well has become like that. Virgil van Dijk now rarely throws his body on the line to defend. He relies on this whole aura BS, which fucking again, it's just cringe if you ask me. But yeah, he relies on that nowadays. So even he doesn't give 100% at times. He doesn't go full in for a tackle. He holds back, which again, I don't like that either. Sometimes letting the players do what they want can work, but sometimes with the type of players, works good with a system. Exactly, Nighttime Kid. You got players who work well in a system, but then you got players who you get players that can just work well in any system. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a player that, for an example, who could we use as an example here? Let's use Gravenberch as a Gravenberch. No, let me. Who's someone that again worked well at Liverpool but wouldn't work well somewhere else? Henderson, for example, Jordan Henderson. We'll use him as a perfect example, right? He worked so well in Jurgen Klopp's system, but again, would he have worked well in a Pep Guardiola system, or I don't know, another? I don't know. Let's say a Zidane system at Madrid. Would he have worked well? Probably not. That's not saying he's a bad player. You just need the right coach to put you in the right system at times. Whereas I think there are other players that can just be put into any team, you know what I'm saying, and just ball out. I think you can put a prime Ronaldinho in any team and he'll ball out. You can put a prime, who else? Prime Lionel Messi in any team and he'll ball out. You know what I'm saying? There's certain players that they don't need a system to cook. Look, Liverpool need players, but we don't need a lot, but we do need a couple of additions. Yeah, I agree, in the summer. I don't think we could do good at Saudi because in Saudi it's competitive. Are you talking about the Saudi Pro League? Yeah, I hear you on that. To be fair, I don't really watch much of that league. I mean, I don't even watch the highlights. I don't know what channels it comes on, so I'm unable to watch them. You guys bought big money players with no system. I hear that. I don't think we bought big money players. We bought players for a large fee. But again, whose job is it to implement the system? It's the manager's job, right? And he's not doing that obviously at the moment. The likes of Wirtz would thrive in a Xabi Alonso system. He's thrived in Xabi Alonso's system at Leverkusen. You know what I'm saying? He thrived in Alonso's system at Leverkusen. Frimpong thrived at Leverkusen in a Xabi Alonso system. Ekitike would thrive in a system like that. You know what I'm saying? Kirkes would. Slot, he's not playing to the player's strengths at the moment. He's not. Yo, big up Mr. Josh EJ, bro. Big up Josh. Make sure you sub to Mr. Josh EJ, man. Absolute legend in the building. Big up yourself, brother. Hope you're well. I'm glad. To be fair, I'm glad you've noticed it as well, even though you're a rival fan. But yeah, there's games where I've looked at Salah and I think he's. Apologies, people. I don't know what happened there. I just froze for some reason. For whatever reason, I just ended up freezing. I don't know why I froze there, but whatever it is, what it is. Apologies. I just completely fucking froze. But yeah, apologies, guys. I think you need Xabi Alonso. I agree, Nat Tonkin. We do need Xabi Alonso. We do 100% need Xabi Alonso. Look, if I could pick any manager in the world, anyone, I'll be honest, he wouldn't be my first pick. I'm genuinely being honest here. Xabi Alonso would not be my first pick as a coach. He wouldn't. He wouldn't. If I could pick anyone in the world right now, I'd love it if Jurgen Klopp could come back to manage Liverpool. I'd love that. Obviously, that's unlikely. Now, based off of some things I've seen Luis Enrique doing and saying off screen regarding certain situations, I don't want him no more, but he'd still be a very good coach. So Alonso's not my first pick, but he's the pick that everyone looks at and thinks, okay, because him being an ex-player and of course being, knowing what it means to play for Liverpool and represent Liverpool. So we'll have that connection, which is what we're lacking at the moment. We're lacking a connection. In our game, he just hit the ball. He didn't even think about nothing. You talking about Ekitike, yeah? I would say I've been seeing Hugo get in positions which he should. Yeah, he takes. It's greed, isn't it? At times, Night Tonkin. It's just again, not being smart. Again, that's something that probably needs coaching. So I've noticed it too. You get in a good position, you can play the ball to someone, get an assist, but you be greedy and you want to shoot. Alonso worked well with Wilson Frimpong. He did, man. He did. He had them balling out at Leverkusen. People forget, I think. Yeah, look, I said if I could, innit? Obviously, I'm realistic and I know it's not going to happen. But yeah, I was just saying hypothetically. But yeah, Xabi Alonso was able to get the best out of Florian Wirtz. It was under him that Wirtz actually became a player that everyone started looking at across Europe. Frimpong as well, a player that everyone started looking at across Europe because of him. You know what I'm saying? So he's worked with two players there already. So he knows what Frimpong's about and he knows what Wirtz is about. And he'd be able to get the best out of those two. So there's two, right? I think he'd love a player like Hugo Ekitike. I think he would genuinely love a player like that. I think he'd love a player like Milos Kerkez. I think he could do something with him. Even Isak, I think he'd love a player like Isak, you know what I'm saying? So again, I think there's a lot of players in our team that I think Xabi would really like and would really love to work with. I genuinely do. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to suffer for a bit longer with Arne Slot this season by the looks of it, because I do believe that even if we go out in the Champions League, he's gonna get the season. I think the club have proper fucked us up here, man. They proper fucked us up by keeping him, because really, the smart thing would have been to have gotten rid of him in November when a lot of us were saying he needed to go. Now they've kept him up until March. Season's almost done. Even if he goes out, even if we do go out on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, I don't see him getting sacked. Unfortunately, I don't. Genuinely don't. I hate to say that, but the suffering's going to continue, man. The suffering is going to continue, and then hopefully in the summer we can see and we can get some change. I think it'll be a good thing, Nighttime Kid, personally, because Ekitike looks shattered and he's been unable to get a rest. Um, so Isak coming back will be good. And plus, Isak should be hungry and motivated to prove himself now as well. Hopefully, he comes back from the injury and actually starts to kick on. You should have taken Guehi before you. That's the club, innit? That's on the club being a bunch of dickheads and not paying the money for him in the summer and then not going back in for him in January as well. Yeah, it's the club, and it's just fucking our sporting directors are absolute clowns. That's why. But yeah, a bit more on tomorrow's game then. So Liverpool versus Galatasaray. I haven't actually done my match preview yet. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the match preview after today's game. Not after today's live. Sorry. So I'll after hop on this, I'll record the match preview. But look, I'm not confident. I've made it clear that I'm not confident. You know, if we're struggling against respectfully, I know not a ton of kids in the chat, so I've got to be careful with my words here. If you're struggling against a Spurs team that have got the amount of injuries that they have and the amount of players they have missing, no fit centre backs. They're in a relegation battle. They're getting smoked left, right, and centre. Haven't won a game this year. They've lost about 7-8 games in a row, I believe. If we're struggling against a team like that at home, we're pretty much a full strength side. What confidence, what right do we have to feel confident for Galatasaray tomorrow, who are a genuinely decent outfield side in the Champions League? We don't. If we rock up and play like we did against Tottenham in tomorrow's game, we've got no chance. I'm going to be totally and blatantly honest. There is no chance that we're going to win. I'm hoping that because it's a European night. No, Nighttime Kid, we're playing Nah, man, feel free to shoot. Yeah. Nah, bro, we're playing tomorrow. We're playing tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this now. If we were playing today, I would have just done the watch long. But yeah, I'm hoping because it's a European night, the crowd will be up for it. Now, I know the crowd have struggled recently to get up for it in games, and I don't blame them. I know it was relatively toxic towards the end of the Tottenham game when there was booing. But I'm fucking hoping that the crowd can just be up for it tomorrow. I'm hoping they can be vocal, loud, make Anfield intimidating again. If we can do that, then it will be down to the players. The players, we know that the players feed off the atmosphere in the ground. We know that. We know that they strive off that. So it will then be on the players to get up for it. And I'm fucking praying actually that we can drive off that emotion and the crowd can carry us through that game, because nothing from a footballing perspective here suggests that we're going to go through in this time. Nothing. Bro, nah, I don't feel like... Yeah. Apologies, Nighttime Kid. With dog crap being real. Yeah, man. I was just trying to be nice because you were in the chat. Yeah, I didn't want to say overly vulgar words towards Tottenham. But yeah, Gala away is not great. You know, we're playing them at home this time around. We played them away last week, so this one's at home. But yeah, from a footballing perspective, nothing suggests that we're going to be able to make it during this time after what happened in the first leg, after how our season's gone as a whole, and after how we've been playing recently. You know, we have to come out the blocks tomorrow firing. We have to come out the blocks tomorrow on it. If we play like we did against Sunday, if we play like we did on Sunday, Nighttime Kid, we've got no chance of making it through. And that's not me being a dickhead or anything, but Galatasaray will rip us to pieces, man. They will. Look at players there. Osman, if we aren't on it defensively, Osman will feast tomorrow. He will. Victor Osman will feast. You know, Sane, I think, will be around. Sane is always a threat. You know, we know he was a nuisance towards Liverpool in his Manchester City days. Icardi is another one. Who else do they have in their team that's worthy of looking at? One or two other players they have in that team that are very, very, very good and can cause problems. So again, if we're not on it, again, they will cause us big, big issues. So like I said, I'm hoping the crowd is up for it tomorrow. I think the crowd's going to be key. If the atmosphere is dead, I'd imagine the team on the pitch are going to come out dead. We need a fast start. You know, we need to come out of the box fast, and we need to put the pressure on them. An early goal would be great tomorrow. If we can get an early goal tomorrow, it's game on. I'm saying Gala going away. They're not as dominant. Yeah, to be fair, Nighttime Kid, they're a team that are very much intimidating at their own ground. You know, when they go away from home, they're not as intimidating. Yeah, exactly. Like Tom Kid, you know, from away from home, they're not as intimidating. And also, we don't have fans. For whatever reason, their fans aren't going to be at this ground, and they're not at the ground tomorrow. So it's only going to be Liverpool fans in the ground. So really, they've got no one there to back them. So what excuse is there to not win? You know what I'm saying? Injury-wise, there's no injuries. We've got no injuries ahead of this game. So, again, we don't win tomorrow. Like I said, it's a big, big, big game in Slot's managerial tenure at Liverpool. Like I said, his whole managerial position depends on how deep we go in the UCL. It does. It depends on how deep we go in the UCL. If we go out tomorrow and we go out in a bad way, Anfield's going to flip. It was close to flipping on a Sunday. While a lot more people have become Slot out after Sunday's result, there are still some that are backing him. I can't imagine he'll have anyone backing him after the result on after if we lose tomorrow. I can't imagine he'll have anyone backing him. So it's a big game for him, which is why he can't afford to experiment with the team. He did that on Sunday against Tottenham. I allowed it while I didn't agree with it. Can't be experimenting for this one. Cannot. Yeah, Night Time Kid, they're not allowed to have the fans for this second leg travelling, so that's weird. Yeah, it is dark, bro. So again, that's more incentive for us. They've got no one there to back them. We should have absolutely swarm all over them, to be fair. But again, a fast start. The crowd's electric. I believe the players can get up fit and we can get a fast start. The players are going to have to just do their own thing out on the pitch. If we do Slot's thing, we're going out. If we play stocks, if we go out there, try and do Slot tactics, we are going out. So it's going to be up to the players to just find their way around it. They did it against Newcastle one or two other times as well this season. So we're just going to have to be on it. That's all I can say. We're going to have to be on it. If we start slow and the longer the game goes on 0-0, the more comfortable Galatasaray will start to get. The more they'll start to sit deep as well. The more they'll start to sit in a low block and try and frustrate Liverpool. And against the low block, Liverpool are not good. So a goal early in the game, first 20 minutes would be great if we scored, because then it's game on. They have to come out and attack, and it will make for a good game. You know what I'm saying? If we can get a goal before half time as well, again, brilliant. Game on, because the second half will be more interesting. And then we can drive, because we drive against teams that give us space to run in behind. The longer that goes 0-0, the more defensive they'll be, the more they'll sit back, and the harder it's going to be for us to make anything happen. You know what I'm saying? So, again, an early goal. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I think we could be in trouble. I genuinely could do. Positive news for me, Bergvall, our midfielder, is back, and Udogi, so we have about 12 or 11 players out. That's good news, to be fair. I'm glad to see some of your players are back. Udogi hasn't played for Tottenham in ages, man. I can't remember the last time he played for Spurs. The last time I remember him playing for Tottenham was, I think, 2 years ago in 23-24. I haven't seen him in ages. I think Romero should be back for Forest game, so 10, 11 players. That's good, to be fair, Nighttime Kid. That's good. At least you're getting some players back. You know what I'm saying? At least you're getting some players back. But yeah, obviously I put together my lineup backstage here. So if I bring up the lineup, this is how I think we'll line up for tomorrow's game. This is how I think the manager will line us up for tomorrow. So yeah, I hate ads, man. This is what I think we do tomorrow. This is what I think. Again, like I said, Slot rested a lot of players on Sunday night, evening. Kanate was out for Gomez. Szoboszlai was playing right back, again, which I don't like. Robbo came in for Kirkes. The attack was completely different. Gakpo was playing up top. Wirtz was playing off the left. Szoboszlai with 10, and Rio got a start off the right. We can't experiment for this game. If we experiment, it's literally a fuck around and find out situation, because it's not a good idea. So, with the players rested for the game on Sunday, my hope is that the likes of Kanate, Kirkes, Ekatike, Salah will be fresh for this game and ready to go and be up for it. So again, just to run you guys through the team, Alisson will be in goal. Again, I think we missed him last week. Mamardashvili was a bit shaky at the back, so it's great to have Ali back, so he's in the sticks. Frimpong at right back. Again, No Soboslai at right back for this game. We can't fucking experiment. Don't be experimenting. Just go with Jeremy Frimpong at right back. Centre backs, I've gone with Virgil and Ibu. Of course, Ibu coming back in for Gomez. Hopefully, these two need to be switched on because if they're not, Osman is going to feast. He is going to feast on us. So, Ibu and Virgil have to be switched on defensively. Left back, Kirkes will come back in for Robbo. Don't think Robbo had a bad game on Sunday evening, but I think it's been made obvious now that Kirkes is the number one left back. So he will be back for this one. Moving into the midfield double pivot, guys. I have gone with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. Look, Maka was poor. McAllister was poor against Tottenham. And again, he's getting overrun in that midfield. He's getting overrun a lot in midfield. Just doesn't have the physicality at the moment. Just isn't on it. So for me, start Szoboszlai back into 8 in his natural position. Let him drive and rest McAllister. We can't afford to carry anyone who's not going to be up for the game. And he's not been up for a lot of games this season. So yeah, McAllister has to be benched in my opinion. So I put Gravenberch next to Szoboszlai. This is what I do, but I think the manager will start McAllister, unfortunately. That's what I think he'll do. United game he played. Yeah. No, he won't play Rio for this game. Like Tom Kidd, nah. He won't play him for a game like this, unfortunately. He won't because, again, you need to go with the experience in it. And if we start Rio and we go out, a lot of people are going to be angry at him and get angry at Rio as well. And you don't want Rio to be abused, you know what I'm saying? Someone's replied to my post. Apologies, I'll check that out later. Yilmaz is a baller for Gala. Yeah, he's another player that we got to look out for. He did. Not Tom Kidd, he did, bro. 100%. But yeah, so if I'd do this, I'd put Szoboszlai and Gravenberch next to each other. But we know Slot will probably put McAllister in either way, which isn't a good idea. But ayo. Up top is where the changes will happen again. Salah was rested last game for Rio. Salah will come back in for this game. I don't even know what to say because he shouldn't be playing, but we know why he's playing. And we know the reason he's playing. So, again, Salah's just... it's not a good look, is it, guys? Let's be honest. It's not a good look how Salah can play the way he's playing and still be getting game time week in, week out. It's a very bad look. And again, it shows that Slot is weak. It shows how weak Slot is. So Salah will be back in for this game. Again, I'm expecting him to just ghost it, to be fair. I'm expecting him to ghost the whole 90 yet again. I'm expecting him to ghost it, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll actually turn up for once, but I doubt it. But he will play off the right, unfortunately, no matter what we think. In the 10, it will be Florian Wirtz. Wirtz, again, had chances in that first leg, a lot of chances, but just was not clinical at all. So he will be back in the 10 for this role. He won't be on the left. The BS that we were seeing last week, he will be back in his 10 where he can naturally play and thrive. So hopefully Wirtz, you can set up a couple for Ekitike, Salah, and hopefully if he gets a couple himself, he can be clinical. But again, if they play a low block, he's going to be important because he's the one who's going to have to pick the lines out and break the low block down with his playmaking. But yeah, Wirtz in the 10. Off the left, Mr. Cody Gakpo, Mr. Cut Inside and Shoot will be back playing in the 10. While we don't like it, while we don't agree with it, he's going to be back for this game. Yeah, man. Really looking forward to seeing Gakpo play again. Fuck me, man. We're just prepared to see another 90 minutes of him cutting inside, shooting every single time. Oh, man. The most robotic player I've ever seen in my life. Genuinely. The most robotic player I have ever seen in my life. This season's really highlighted how Cody Gakpo should not be a starter for Liverpool. And it highlights why Jurgen Klopp never started him and preferred Luis Diaz over him. Fuck me, man. Robotic. Again, maybe a new coach can coach that out of him. But I think under a new coach, I don't even think Gakpo gets much game time. I think, again, he's one of Slot's favourites. Once Slot goes, I don't see Gakpo getting much game time. Maybe Gakpo can have that coached out of him. However, I don't want to start him, but he's going to start. He's going to start. I don't want to start him, but he's going to start. Let's see what he can do, man. Maybe he can fucking bag a goal somewhere. But yeah, him off the left. Up top as the striker, it's going to be Hugo Ekitike. Again, not been good recently. In recent weeks, he's had a dip. And like I said, I've explained why I think he's had a dip. I think he's running to the ground. I think he's tired. Naturally, the guy's been carrying that whole attack all season. He has been carrying our whole attack all season. This guy has. And you look at his age as well. It's only natural that you drop off. You know what I'm saying? The fact that the kid, his age, has been able to carry our attack when Salah's there, and Salah hasn't stepped up, and he has. Fair play to Hugo, man. Now, due to him playing week in, week out, you can see it's taking a toll. That's why we need Isak back, man. That's why we need Alexander Isak back in the team. ASAP. I want to start rotating them, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when Isak does come back. Will Ekitike continue to start, or Isak slot back in the team? Will we rotate them every other game? But it'll be interesting. But we do need him back because it shows that we are missing him now. We are missing not having that option. Gakpo is class. Oh man. But this is the team, guys. Ekitike, of course, he didn't play the Tottenham game. He was wasteful in the game last week. No shame in admitting that. Very wasteful. Didn't play against Spurs on the weekend. Came on off the bench, but again, was very wasteful in front of goal when he came on. For this game, he will be back. He was rested. So I'm hoping that because he was rested midweek on the weekend, he's back and available for this game and he's up for it. We need our players up for this one. We need our attackers up for it. We need our attackers up for this game. Otherwise, we can forget about it. If Wirtz is if Ekitike is gonna fuck around, not be clinical, Salah's gonna fuck around, not be clinical. If Gakpo is gonna do it, Wirtz is gonna do it. We got no chance. You know what I'm saying? We probably aren't gonna get much opportunities because I think they will low block it. So come on, lads, let's be up for this one, please. You know. Defensively again, like I said, Virgil and Konate just needs to be switched on. You know, they have the tendency to have bozo games, but for this one we need them switched on because otherwise Osman will get in behind. There's only so much saves Alisson can make in a game to keep us in it. Again, Kirkes coming back in should be well rested. Ibu coming back in should be well rested. Salah should be well rested. Ekitike should be well rested as well. I don't want to see McAllister in this game. I don't want to see him playing. I don't think he should be playing. But I think we all know that he will be. Even though I would go with Dominic Szoboszlai myself. But this is my team, lads. On paper, you think that team's good enough to beat Galatasaray in the second leg. But it's about how we step it up in the game. It's about how we perform on the pitch. You know what I'm saying? Talent isn't enough. You have to play as a team and win as a team. And honestly, if we show up like we did against Spurs, I've got no hope for this one. I've got no hope. So, yeah, man. It's a dark period. And I'm not looking forward to the game because I can see how it's going to go. I can just see them low blocking it. And I can see Liverpool having a lot of the ball, but being unable to make anything happen. You know what I'm saying? Wirtz, like I said, is going to be vital. It's going to be very vital for the game. But yeah, man. That is it for the lineup, guys. Is it for the lineup? But yeah, man. Do I think we will go through? Maybe it's just me being positive, but I think Anfield will carry us over the line in this game. I do think Anfield will carry us over the line, but I'm not confident in saying that. I can easily see that game tomorrow being 0-0. I think if you want to put a bet on it, 0-0 would be a smart bet. I can see that finishing 0-0. I can see them no blocking it, us having a lot of the ball, but being unable to break them down in the first half and the second half. I can see them winning. I can see us winning. Any results possible here, a draw as well. But yeah, I'm confident for the game. Genuinely not. Would have given me nothing to feel confident about so far this season as a whole, and last week out, in the UCL in the first leg. I haven't had nothing to really feel upbeat about. So again, I think we'll go through, but that's me being hopeful. I think they will, to be fair, Night Tom Kid. If they score a second as well, if we let them score a second, we're screwed, because then they will. But yeah, if they go for it, I think it's a bit risky because I think we can get space and hurt them with the players we have. So I think they'd be a bit crazy to come out and play. But we'll see how they play. We'll see what they do. I know what we're going to do. You know, I'm just hoping that, you know, we can be up for it because it's a European night. But I think a lot of us know how we're going to rock up and play, which again isn't going to fill us with confidence. It's not. But moving on from the game, I've touched on the game. I'll do my match. I've got my match review coming out after this game, guys. So the match preview is coming out. I'll give you guys my proper thoughts and feelings on the game. Delve into it. Score prediction. And of course, the predicted 11 is there. But I'll do that in a match preview after this stream. I wanted to touch on a bit of side news. A bit of side news now. So I've just seen this, guys, regarding our sporting director, Richard Hughes. And this is interesting. Very, very interesting. So look at this, people. Just zoom out a bit. So apparently, guys, according to multiple reports, Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes has agreed to join Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal after a tough season at Anfield, according to reports. So, guys, Liverpool Richard Hughes agrees to leave after Arne Slot. Okay. So, guys, looks like our idiot sporting director, who's been the one who is adamant that Slot should stay, and has been the one who's adamant we stick with him, is on his way. So, with the guy that's the one who is backing Slot the most, and let's be honest, this guy here is the main reason Slot is still at the club. He's a big problem, and one of the main issues and the reasons why the manager hasn't been sacked. With him gone, I can't see Slot lasting. I genuinely cannot. So I think Slot will go as well. If this news is genuine, of course. Big if it's genuine, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Yeah. It's crazy. So Richard Hughes, according to reports, has agreed to join Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal in the summer. Well in, man. If it's true, happy days. Good riddance to the guy. We're in this situation because of his stubbornness and his pig-headedness. I know, Night Time Kid, I know. Chelsea, yeah, bro, with their transfer, man, and everything that happened. I seen it yesterday. Yeah, bro, I seen it, man. It's mad. It is mental what's happening over there. But yeah, if he's gone, that can only mean Slot's next, and Slot is very soon. So well in, man. If Richard Hughes is gone, bye. I actually thought Hughes was a decent sporting director in the summer. I thought he was doing things really well. But what a way to absolutely ruin what you did in the summer with how you dealt with the situation, the managerial situation this summer. And then the January window as well was a joke. It was a joke, let's be honest. So if he's gone, fingers crossed he's gone. Happy days, man. Michael Edwards can go along with him. Let's bring in a new sporting director and let's bring in a new manager as well. But yeah, hoping that news is true. But yeah, I've discussed everything for the game tomorrow. I'll do the match preview in a bit. Let's look at the games, the other games that are kicking off today and tomorrow, guys. And I'll give you guys my sort of predictions. I'll give you guys my sort of predictions ahead of the game. So, guys, today we have these 4 games here. So we have Sporting versus Bodo Glimt, which is going to kick off in just over an hour. Again, not an interesting game on paper, so I'm not going to be paying too much attention to it. But the big games are on at 8 o'clock today. So we have Chelsea versus Paris Saint-Germain, City versus Madrid, and Arsenal versus Leverkusen. I actually thought Arsenal were playing tomorrow. My bad. They're playing tonight. Where is Harv? I'm not sure who that. Are you on about Elliot? He's at Aston Villa, bro. He's been at Aston Villa all season. He's on loan there. But yeah, Sporting Bodo Glimt. I think Sporting will go. Bodo Glimt will go to. Sorry. So I've got Bodo there. The 3 big games here. Let's be honest. 2 of these games are done. 2 of these games are done after that first leg. Chelsea, PSG. PSG absolutely ran riot all over them at the Parc des Princes. Beat them by 5-2. Chelsea actually played okay in that game, to be fair, which is mad, but PSG just out with them. I think this game's done. While I think Chelsea will put up a fight at Stamford Bridge and give them a game, I think Paris Saint-Germain have got too much quality here, and I think they'll maneuver their way through. So yeah, I think PSG are through here. City, Madrid, similar. Madrid absolutely picked City apart in that first leg. Again, a City side in recent years, I would have said they can turn this around, but this City side here, they're not good. They're a very poor, below average City side. They're not going to turn it around. Even though Madrid are crap, all they have to do is lock down Haaland. As long as Haaland's kept quiet, Madrid will be doing this game. So that one's done in my opinion as well. Arsenal Leverkusen is the one that's got it all to play for. So am I going to watch Chelsea, PSG or Madrid City, knowing that their ties are done? And this one is still up in the air. I'm probably going to end up watching the Arsenal game, I can't lie. Arsenal Leverkusen pushed them all the way last week, sorry. Gave them a good game. Arsenal probably lucky to get out of there with something. That penalty was not a penalty. I stand by that. This one here, I think at home at the Emirates, I think Arsenal will pull through. I do expect Arsenal to pull through. So yeah, I think Chelsea are out tonight. I think City will be out, but I think Arsenal will advance and they'll go through. As for tomorrow night's games, we have some interesting ones tomorrow. Bayern Atlanta, that's done. 6-1 in the first leg, I believe it was. So yeah, Bayern at the Allianz Arena will just score more against them. So Bayern I do. Spurs Atletico again. Atletico absolutely battered them in that first leg. That tie's pretty much done. So yeah, Atletico I drew there unfortunately. Sorry, night time kid. Liverpool Galatasaray again up in the air, similar to the Arsenal Leverkusen game. I backed us to go through, but I'm not confident. And then Barcelona Newcastle again. Newcastle really needed to get something from that first leg at St James's Park. At the new camp, I think it's too much for them. And I think Barcelona will advance and beat them. So yeah, I'm going to go with Barcelona to win, Atletico to win, Bayern to win, and I'm going to go with us to win as well. So yeah, I've actually gone with only 2 English clubs to advance to the quarterfinals, and that is Arsenal and Liverpool. I've gone with a PSG win, a Bodo win, PSG win, Madrid win, Arsenal win, Barcelona win, Atletico Madrid win, Liverpool win, and a Bayern win. And yeah, that is my what are my predictions for the week for the games this week. Those are my predictions. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting night for sure, lads. An interesting night. 4-2 PSG is night time kids prediction. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough, man. But yeah, that's how I feel for the games this weekend. But yeah, big up to everyone who has joined. I am Spurs will win 3-1, but we'll still lose potentially. Potentially, man, potentially. But yeah, that is it for me today, guys. I'm going to now go off and record my match preview. So stay tuned for that one. Big up to every single person who's joined, man. Appreciate you all. Bayern 1-1, fair enough. Appreciate you all. Leverkusen 2-1. Of course, you're going to say that. Of course, you're going to say that. Just do a roll call before I head off. Big up to Night Time Kid, of course. Big up yourself, brother. Who else was in here? Big up to Mr. Josh J. Make sure you sub to Josh, absolute legend. Big up to Andre. Big up to Wahaha. Make sure you sub to Wahaha. And yeah, that's everyone, guys. That is everyone in the chat. Big up to you all. Appreciate every single one of you that has locked in today. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with the watch long as well, and for the match reaction. So yeah, big up to you all. Profit out. Speak to you all soon in a bit. Peace.